What's up, boxing fans? This is your boy Rick Mohamed, Brawlers Sports Media in the building. This is the Brawlers Sports Boxing Show. Well, today we're going to do a little recapping for you guys on what we just witnessed last weekend. Last weekend, the Zone was on, Fox was on, Showtime was on. I mean, boxing was at its best last weekend, and we started off on ESPN with top-ranking Bob Arum, the trilogy fight between Joshua Franco versus Andrew Maloney. You all know we had the big controversial stoppage in the rematch 5 months ago when they tried to say Andrew Maloney headbutted him and caused a cut, which caused this a no contest because they had only got into 2 rounds of boxing. For those of you who don't understand the rules of boxing, you must have 4 rounds of boxing in the books in order to go to the scorecards and claim a winner for victory. That didn't happen, just 2 rounds in, and it was clear that Andrew Maloney hit him with a solid left jab, and that cut his eye open, which means that should have been stoppage due to a TKO and a cut. So they came back, they did it again. You know, Maloney, he talked a good game, like he was game to come in there and redeem himself and get his title that's rightfully his, that Franco took in the first fight. And Maloney rightfully should have gotten it back in the second fight. But controversy said nope. They threw a monkey wrench in that night. So, Franco came out. He outboxed him. He looked sharp. He looked good. He listened to his coach, Robert Garcia, in the corner, and he did what he had to do. And he really overshadowed Andrew Maloney the whole night and won with ease. So that dilemma's over. 3 fights in, and it's 2-1 with 2 wins and a no contest for Maloney. So that's it. That's all. Franco is definitely in the running for some big fights at 115 pounds, and I think he won't have any problems getting them. What else did we have? We had Nico Ali Walsh, which is the grandson of the legendary, none other, the GOAT, Muhammad Ali's grandson. Had his debut with a first-round knockout. Can we really score him, judge him based off of the opponent that was picked and selected for him? We all know how that happened. I mean, it's boxing. But now what I want to ask boxing fans and critics and those in the profession of boxing that's been around a while enough to know boxing, is it fair that you come from the blood of the great GOAT Ali family bloodline? The man in the ring, the man outside the ring, the philanthropist. I mean, do we judge and say, hey, other guys have to earn it, work their ass off super hard to get on television, let alone to be on television on their pro debut? Yeah, I mean, hey, being the blood of Ali and all these other great sons and Julio Cesar Chavez's son, Jr. I mean, hey, they piggyback and they get privileges from that, but it makes a difference if you can fight. It's too soon to tell what Ali's grandson is going to do and what he brings to the sport of boxing. Way too soon. Congratulations, though, on a victory. A win is a win, and it was a stoppage in his first fight, his first debut. He carries the torch, and the Ali legacy and name lives on and looked good on Saturday night. But we shall see what comes in the near future for him and what's up next. I'm sure they're going to handle him very carefully, as they should. So it'd be interesting to see where he fares when he's ready to get in the top echelon of fighters, if you will. So after he gets about, let's say 10, 12, 15 fights in, let's see what he looks like at about his 10th fight. Let's see where he's at opposition-wise. What else we had? The main event Saturday night was Virgil Ortiz took on Igis Kavas. That was a big step-up fight for him. As you all know, earlier he was calling out the likes of Terrence Bud Crawford, Errol Spence Jr., and, Robert Garcia and Golden Boy hit the brakes, saying, we're not there quite yet. Let's take a step-up fight. Let's fight Igis Kavas. Kavas fought Terrence Bud Crawford, and that's his only loss was to Bud. Bud, certain fighters get up for certain fights, and I think Bud was kind of bored in that fight. But he got caught by a looping right hand by Kavas that rocked Bud, And a lot of people in the audience was going crazy because they was like, oh, here comes the end of Bud Crawford. He's about to get stopped. And Bud carried himself real well, and he regrouped like he should have, had a nice, strong camp. He was conditioned well, and he bounced back from that. And then he woke up and snapped out of it and said, you know what? It's time for me to destroy him now because he just embarrassed me. So with that being said, he didn't do exactly what Virgil Ortiz Jr. did, though, Saturday night. Virgil Ortiz Jr. also suffered a big scare when he got rocked early in the second round. A left hook to the body and then a volley of bunches of punches is what we call it, what Kavas put on him like a seasoned veteran do. When I hurt you, I try to finish you, and I do that by putting nice, crispy bunches of punches on you, technically sound punches that's going to hurt you and possibly get you out of here. That didn't happen. Virgil Ortiz maintained his composure and showed good poise and looked like a seasoned veteran there, but a young gun up and coming in the future of boxing. And he maintained. Bell rung. He came back out in the third round. He got touched up again in the third round, early in that third round, if you will, by some more volleys of punches from Kavas. But he held on again. He started putting his punches together. He had a nice, crispy, snappy jab. Best punch in boxing is your jab. You veer away from your jab, I guarantee you, you're going to lose. You got a good jab. You stick with that jab all night. Set your shots up behind that jab. You're going to be successful. Very, very successful. And that's what Virgil Ortiz Jr. did. And he caught Kavas with some good, solid body work. I mean, this kid is young and he's strong. In the 8th round, he dropped Kavas with a stiff, solid jab to the sotoplex, to the midsection. Canned him, dropped him. And Kavas got up and shook his head like, this kid is, he's strong as a bull. And he is. And Virgil Ortiz went on in that 8th round and dropped him like 3 more times for a total of 5 knockdowns for the fight and the stoppage by TKO when the referee stepped in and waved it off in the 8th round. So superb performance by Virgil Ortiz Jr. He showed and displayed good poise, maintained his composure. He showed that he is championship material. He can be validated as a people's champion one day. Now, here's the big question, boxing fans and boxing experts out there abroad. He called out the likes of Bud Crawford again, and he called out Errol Spence Jr. He doesn't want to fight anybody but the best. Is he still a little too green, even though he did very, very well? Very impressive win in his step-up fight versus Kavas. Does that solidify him calling out the likes of Bud Crawford now this early, which, by the way, gave him his 18th win and his 18th knockout, and the likes of Errol Spence Jr.? Is he ready for those magnitude-sized fights or not? Do we need to take another impressive name that's still around in the boxing world and still has a lot of clout and pizzazz, if you will? Or is he ready? That remains to be seen. But I say he's going to get one of those big fights he just named. It's going to either be Spence or it's going to be Bud, but it's going to happen. And it's probably most likely going to be his next fight out. But it won't be Spence, I doubt, because when Spence does come back and recover from the torn retina, which caused him to pull out of the Pacquiao fight this coming Saturday night in Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena, he's probably going to want a tune-up fight to see where he's at vision-wise and how he's feeling, shake off some ring rust, and then that's going to set that fight up 4 to 6 months somewhere down the road after he has a tune-up. So if Virgil fights him, we're probably looking at about May, June of next year, 2022. Or we may see him fight Bud Crawford after Crawford fights Sean Porter. I don't know if that fight would even happen before the end of year, but that could be a setup fight for early 2022 going into maybe February, March, or April. And then that'll push Virgil's chance of fighting Spence further back, because it remains to be seen based on what Pacquiao does this weekend, if that fight between him and Spence is going to happen. And let's talk about that. As you all know, Earl the Truth Spence Jr., he got benched from his upcoming fight, his mega fight versus the legendary Manny PacMan Pacquiao this Saturday night at T-Mobile Arena, Saturday, August 21st, 2021, because he had a torn retina that he sustained in training camp, most likely from sparring I'm sure. And the doctor said he needed emergency surgery, which he supposedly have received, as we all saw him post a picture with his eye patch on and leaving the eye clinic. And that also has been confirmed by WBC's president, Mauricio Suleiman, who also says that he has read the documents provided by the optometrist and that procedure that has been performed on Errol Spence, if you will, to repair that torn retina. So the president of the WBC, Mauricio Suleiman, says that is an actual and factual stoppage that pulled him out of the fight, and that procedure and that surgery did happen. It did take place. So there was controversy of, why did this happen? How did you just find this out a week before the fight? It's boxing. Shit happens. I can tell you some stories. It happens. So that's where we are this weekend. And now the replacement for this big mega fight versus Manny PacMan Pacquiao is Yordenis Ugas. So now you train for a southpaw, and let's talk about that, fans. You train specifically one way, 8, 10, 12 weeks preparing for this specialty fighter, a southpaw, the likes of Errol Spence Jr. Now they yank him a week before the big stage and say, hey, he had to have surgery. He's got a torn retina, yada, yada, splatter. Now we're going to throw in orthodox fighter and the WBA champion, Yordenis Ugas. And by the way, Ugas has the WBA belt that Manny Pacquiao rightfully took from Keith one-time Thurman, but he didn't defend it, so he got stripped. Now this gives him an opportunity to get his belt back, get that fight going back with Spence, and say, hey, let's put it all on the line and unify. Now, and a lot of people are saying, is that what Spence really wanted? I'm fighting the legendary Manny PacMan Pacquiao, the biggest purse of my life, no doubt. But because who PacMan is, I'm going to make that money. And because of who I am and I have the belts, it's going to make me make that money. Negotiated, deal done, signed, inked, sealed, delivered. Now, rethink this thing is what the critics were saying. He has nothing to really go in the ring. He has everything to lose and nothing to gain other than putting Manny Pacquiao's name on his resume after he beats him and gets the W. But the other belt that Ugas has is still out there. Rightfully so. Spence, that fight should have been lined up for him to fight Yordenis Ugas, not Manny Pacquiao. If we talk about unifying welterweight division, why wasn't that fight made before they talked about the likes of Pacquiao? Big payday, or do you want the belts? And I don't think it's about the money with Errol Spence. I think it's about his legacy and fulfilling his dream of unifying the welterweight division and collecting all of the hardware that comes with. So we could challenge this on and on and on. However, once again, I state the case. WBC President Mauricio Suleiman has confirmed that a procedure to repair a torn retina, Errol Spence Jr.'s eye, was performed. And he has seen that document, the documents that came with that. Obviously, Spence's people revealed that to the WBC and said, hey, we're not on no BS. We don't have to be. It happened. This is the date. This is where it took place. Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? So that's where we are. Now we have Manny PacMan Pacquiao. I don't think, because of the legend that he is, I don't think he really has to revamp his entire training regimen and how he prepared for Spence over Ugas. I think he's going to go right into this fight as if this fight was the fight that was signed and made from day one. Camp day one, Ugas day one. That's what legends do. And that's exactly what I think we're going to see in Manny Pacquiao. A lot of people feel like Ugas' style is designed and in such a way where it creates a lot of problems. We all know that Manny doesn't like to fight boxers, if you will. Ugas is definitely a good boxer. He's good on his feet, good movement, good lateral side-to-side movement. He utilizes the ring till it's his fullest advantage. And those are the things that we know Manny Pacquiao doesn't like. But Manny Pacquiao comes in there. He's a southpaw. He has many, many angles. He will find a way. He will find a way to get in there and mix it up with Yordenis Ugas And we could see an upset. The Pac-Man's 42 years old. We could see a stoppage of Ugas. A lot of people don't believe that. Hey, like I said earlier in this interview or in this show, it's boxing. Shit happens. It could happen, and Manny could pull it off. He very well so could. It'd be a good win for Ugas as well, and say, hey, let me put this name on my resume. I fought a legend. I validated who I am, why I got this belt, and now Spence, let's do this. Still makes a good big fight. Definitely would make a big fight sometime, like I said, after Errol comes back. See what his team wants to do, his next fight out before fighting and unifying whoever this winner is going to be this coming Saturday night. Manny Pacquiao, Yordenis Ugas. We'll find that out soon in the next couple of days. That being said, I believe that, what else we got? I think Pacquiao, in my personal opinion, my heart says I'm going to roll with Pacquiao. Ugas fans, and I like Ugas as well, I believe that he does have a style to create a lot of problems. He's tall. He's lanky. If he stands tall and stay tall and box tall, then it's going to be a long night for Manny. And he keeps touching him up with that jab and keep him at bay and set him up. He could get his wish and stop Manny too. But all that remains to be seen. So nonetheless, even though I think a lot of us are disappointed that we're not going to see the original fight that was set up, Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence Jr. Errol is definitely working towards his legacy and greatness and his legendary self in the books as well. And I think the boxing world and fans was really, really excited to see them come put on a show here Saturday night. But we're gonna have to bite that bullet, swallow that pill, and wait until that time comes now and let Errol recover and heal. So, boxing fans, who are you picking this Saturday night? Manny Pacquiao or Yordenis Ugas? It's going to be a great fight. I believe that fight is still being advertised as pay-per-view. I am not sure if it's still being advertised at the same purchase price point that Spence and Pacquiao was asking for. And I want to say it was either listed at $74.99 or $79.99. I don't know if this fight is worthy of those numbers to hit fans upside the head. A lot of people felt like it should have just moved to Showtime and let everybody watch it on their regular cable network, if you will. But it's Manny Pacquiao, and he can demand pay-per-view. I just don't think it's worthy of a high-price ticket like that. If you want to give the fans something, and you definitely need to put this thing on pay-per-view, well, why not go $39.99, $49.99, and top it off at that? But like I said, we shall see. And I think it's going to be a great fight. Make no mistake, myself, Brawlers Sports Media, Rick Mohamed, I will be in the building. Come tomorrow is the final press conference for Manny Pacquiao and Yordenis Ugas. As you all know, fighters arrive today. That's the way the scheduling goes. You get there the week of fight, about shy of 6 days, 5-6 days before fight night. Tuesday is the arrival. Wednesday, the main event guys, Ugas, Manny Pacquiao tomorrow, 2:00 p.m. Pacific time, if you will. That press conference will be going on. I will be there live, bringing it to you guys live, as I always do. Facebook Live, I will be there. Thursday, they have the undercard press conference will go on at 2:00 that day. Friday, I believe at 2 p.m. is the weigh-in, official weigh-in for everybody. And then Saturday is showtime, fight night. So that's the breakdown of the scheduling and how that works. Fighters arrive, main events presser, undercard presser, weigh-in, fight night. We'll be there giving you as many live interviews and updates as I can give you guys for this big event coming off T-Mobile Arena Saturday night, August 21st, 2021 in Viva Las Vegas. So make sure you tune in when you see me go live. Make sure you guys hop on. You can ask questions. You can have comments. You can make a statement, what you think, who you like. Yeah, give us the outcome of the fight. We want to know what you guys think, what your boxing IQ is like, and what do you see happening, and how this whole fight Saturday night transpires at the end of the bell, the final round, whatever round that's going to be, sooner than 12 or 12. Who do you pick? Who's going to win? Well, I think I'm out of stuff right now. And right now, that's going to be it for the Brawler Sports Boxing Show. It's your boy, Rick Mohamed, Brawler Sports Media in the building. My sidekick and my son, G-Money, Giovanni, a.k.a. G-Money. He couldn't make it today. So, you know, I carry that torch. No biggie. I got you, son. So, hey, listen, the pandemic, we're still in it. I'm treating it as if we're still in March 2020. The new Delta variant and COVID in itself, all the numbers have spiked across the country. ERs are filling up, intensive care units, ventilators. They're running low again as if this is March 2020 hitting us all over again. Listen up, people. We are not out of the woods. If you're vaccinated, great. If you're not, great. That's your choice. Let's still treat this thing like it's not going anywhere. Let's continue to mask up. Let's continue to keep our hands clean. Practice social distancing still. I think we can maintain safety. Let's stay safe so we can stay alive. Real talk. Real talk. They just had, on the news, so many people are dying, man. So many people are still dying. Stay safe so you can stay alive. We can stay alive. That's it for now. It's your boy, Rick Mohamed, Brawler Sports Media in the building. Till next time. Let's go, champs.
Brawlers, baby.